All right, I'm on hole number 9 of the 2019 Fall Major. I'm in Monday's qualifying round in the rookie division, and our goal here is minus 12 per side. I've picked up the 2 mid par 4s. I picked up hole number 5, and I picked up hole number 8. Those holes can be picked up regardless of your club levels. Hole number 1 is a very difficult hole. There is an eagle shot out there, but it is a very difficult hole. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can go at this hole. You can try and do this shot down here, but I'm not a fan. Especially not a fan if you have lower developed stuff, because you're engaging this. This is a difficult shot to get it through this gap at the very end of the run. It's very difficult to get it out here so that you have the right distance. Probably the best way to achieve this is to do a rough bump. You're going to rough bump it out in there instead of trying to bring it around, because you're dealing with such a narrow fairway. And if you've got lower developed stuff, those clubs are going to be inaccurate, and it's going to be a super difficult shot to get down in there. The other way you can come at this is with a big topper, and you can engage it from this side and try and run it out there. You're probably going to find yourself more often than not in this area where you're still a little bit behind the trees, where you've got to kind of bring it around. This is definitely a great hole for a big dog if you've got lower developed stuff. I think no matter what I'm going to do here, obviously getting out in here where you're clear of the trees, if you've got upper developed stuff and you're out in this area right here, my club of choice here is a Guardian, because with the distance on a Guardian, my red line's past this. I can actually get in front out here where I'm in the clear. The only thing I'm looking at is the green. Every trap on the fairways out of play. But that's if you have a Guardian of some level. So you've got some ball guide and you've got some accuracy. But I don't know that in this account that I can get out into that area, because I'm not sure. With my upper level account, I'm going to try and overpower it with my extra mile with a 3 power ball and land on this side so that I can get a lot more run forward. But I'm not sure in this account if I have enough power in my extra mile to get that job done. So I'm going to bring 2 different bags. I'm going to bring an extra mile bag with a big dog. And my big dog hits 2.5 per ring. Better write that down. Big dog, 2.5 per ring. Nothing else there should come into play. Or I'm going to hit it with my big topper and my big dog, and I'm taking a 3 power ball no matter what. Let's try this. Let's see, big dog 2.5, extra miles 2.4, so they're about the same. I'm going to try it with my extra mile first and see if there's a max overpower shot out there. This hole right here is a very, very tough hole, and you can end up in trouble very easily on this par 5. So the safe bet is to go out there with a big topper, bounce it over, bring your big dog, get up on the green, get your eagle, and move on. You can also do a rough bump down here to get on the green. It's not the type of rough bump that I typically like to take. So you can see, I would make sure that the ball guy was centered in the middle of this fairway. And then you'd have to apply some blind curl on it to bring it back over there, because I wouldn't want to pinch myself in that rough, because if you end up in that rough down there, you have no shot. I'm really excited that my opponent made that, because now we're going to get to see what it looks like from the bottom. I'm interested to see what club they brought for their second shot. So with the current wind that's out there, I might barely be able to make it over. The problem with doing that shot with the extra mile, is I don't have a lot of curl on this club, so I'm going to have to ride it a little bit lower. Than where I normally like to run it. Hit it one ring great to the right. And barely enough room. Yeah, it's definitely going to be. The deal is even with a big topper right there, trying to bounce it over, you're at the very end of the run when you're out there, and you need to be to the right of that sand. And you're at the very end of the run when you're out in that spot, and that club is, I mean, it's just as inaccurate as the extra mile. No, yeah, they're both 2.5, 2.4. I definitely would have brought my big dog. And the wind will push him forward. He's got plenty of room there with the wind. But he's digging down. He's coming in at the downhill, so he's digging down into that hole. That's why his ball guide's disappearing. Two rings great to the left. That puts that nice. Very nice. Nice shot. All right, we've got the big dog. So we should have plenty of club here. And this is where you can do a rough bump. I definitely don't have enough backspin here to kind of stop. Can we get towards max? Got a little bit of a hill here. Big dog or big, yeah, big dog is 2.5 per ring. So there's 2.5, that leaves me 1.3. I'll do about a ring and a half. My goal at this point is my goal at this point is to secure my eagle. Oh, two rings great to the left. Today's goal is to go out and figure out what it takes to shoot the minimum score. And as the week goes on, I'll be able to go back and watch the videos and see like where I was at, what I was doing, and what my options were. If I can get into that area right there, my Viper would have been a better choice. But this is the type of hole that if you end up, clipping the rough back there when you're trying to get over and you're short, you're going to wish that you brought a big dog. And if you've got lower developed stuff, your other clubs aren't going to be able to kind of fill the gap and help you out a lot. So today's goal was to just try and shoot the minimum score and see what happened. And I got lucky on the two mid par fours, the middle par four and the last par four. Oh, I brought a Titan here. Let's see if I'm in. New. Was wondering earlier if I could. I can because I think on this hole in regular play, we're getting a little bit of forward moving wind. Put a curl on it and a little bit of overpower to power through that wind. Hit a one ring great to the left. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch because when I came to this hole, I used a Guardian and a Nav, and I think I'm going to switch to a higher power ball so that I can engage that with my Saturn. And the wind is blowing favorable for us, so I won't have to use any overpower. But I think it'll be better for me to engage that with my long iron as opposed to my wood, because my long iron's got a lot better. It's a lot more developed, so it'll give me a lot more options, especially with the curl. That Guardian that I have, it has some curl, but it's so little it almost doesn't. That's going to be very nice. Very nice. Coming to a very gentle stop. Good game. Good game. All right, that was hole number 9. Let's see where we ended up. Minus 14. So the goal going into this tournament, minimum score minus 12. Minimum score of minus 12. And the 2 par 4s that I picked up are the 2, I mean, those are the 2 easiest holes to pick stuff up on. And so, like, if we think about where we'll end up when the weekend round comes, because you know how it works. Everybody starts the week off, and as people start advancing, the people who are playing better are the ones who are advancing. And so the scores are going to get better and better and better as the week goes on. So looking at like what it will take for you to shoot, getting the minimum of minus 12 and then working that number to try and pick shots up. I think in the weekend round, shooting a minus 14 on both sides, looking at minus 28 is probably going to be a solid top 10. Depending on your bracket, it could be a top 5. It could be a banner bracket. I think in a lot of these brackets, though, you're going to have to shoot somewhere better than a 28, probably towards 30, like 29 and 30 if you're looking at trying to get a win. Some brackets, somebody's going to pop out a 32 or a big score. In some brackets, you may get a 26 and end up getting a win, just depending on your bracket. But my goal going in is the minimum score is minus 12. And my goal going in is a minus 28 is what I want to maintain if I want to get a top 5. And obviously the goal here is to win these majors. And for me, I think it's all going to start with trying to make sure that I pick up those 2 par 5 or par 4s, hole number 5 and hole number 8. Those are going to be holes that just absolutely you're going to have to get a birdie or an eagle on both times in order to have any shot at going up for a win. But it all starts with the minimum minus 12. You have to maintain that minus 12. It's not going to do you any good if you pick up 5 and you pick up 8 and then you drop 9 or you drop 3. So you have to make sure that you can play all of the holes for the minus 12 with your eyes closed. And then you can focus on, my focus is going to be 5. 1 is important, but 1 is a very difficult par 4 to get an eagle on. If you have the right equipment and you bring out a big ball, you can increase your odds, but 1 is a tough hole. But I'm going to focus on 1, 5, and 8. Those are the par 4s. I do feel like we have a pretty decent shot on hole number 6 of picking up an Albie on that par 5. The par 3s here are very difficult. I want to make sure that I give myself a look at it. But the whole deal on these par 3s is, especially if you've got lower developed stuff, is make sure you get your birdie. But when I look at holes that I really want to focus on to try and pick one up, 1, 5, 6, and 8, those are key holes that we have serious opportunities. It's not that you can't get an Albie on 9, and it's not that you can't get an Albie on 3. But those 4 holes, you have a serious shot of being able to pick one up every time. And so I definitely want to focus on them, especially 5 and 8. Those are going to be huge focuses this week. All right, that was the Monday qualifying round in the rookie division. Thanks for watching.